welcome. Nice for having you. First, you tell us your name and what you represent and the position you're vying
Um, my name is Taslim Ahmed Iya. I'm a member of the Nigeria Action Association as well as a member of the party Action Alliance. I am running for the position of member House of Representatives in Adamawa State. That's the Jada Ganye Mayo Balwa Tongo constituency. I hope that answers your first
for.
question.
Exactly. I want to know what actually give you that intention to run for the position of the House of Representatives.
Well, what gave me the opportunity is the hashtag not too young to run bill that was introduced 2 years ago. Um, what gave me the desire to want to run now is honestly just the situation that I see in the country. I mean, they keep saying the youth is the future, the youth is now, but the youth aren't really doing anything at all. We're not standing up to be counted or to try to represent our people. So I decided to be one of those people that would stand up and say, you know what, enough is enough. Let's try to do something. Let's try to make these things better. Let's try to get our security better. Let's try to get our economy better, our education better, because the people there right now, honestly, they don't really care so much about it, you know?
So, what are you bringing on board to change all the situations that you mentioned so far?
Well, I think our manifesto states a lot of these things very clearly, the things that we're trying to do. Our manifesto talks about our plans and intentions in the area of the economy, in the area of security, in the area of education, health, and so much more. I think anyone who would like to know more about this in detail could visit my website, taslimahmediya.com. It has the manifesto as well as our own plan for a restructuring plan for Nigeria. But what we are bringing really that's different is a different approach to politics, to how we want to, basically the mindset that we use in politics. So instead of doing godfatherism type of politics, we want a type of politics that, where it is the people who put us in those positions. It is through their contributions and through their volunteering and through whatever other kinds of means they want to participate with us that we get into power. And so it is it is to them that we owe whatever allegiance we are supposed to have. And so it is only for them that we would decide to work.
Well, coming from Action Alliance, that is a party that is not as big as we say the PDP and that of the APC. How do you intend to run your campaign in the means of, let me just say in the quote, money-back politicians, and they succeed in 2023?
That's a very good question. Well, the reason we decided anyways not to run, not to try to run through the APC and PDP is because we think most of the politics there is already tainted. I mean, anyone who watched the primaries can tell you that it is no longer politics. This is just who has the most money. You are counting how much money everybody has, and so I mean this is not something we can even participate in, let alone we would want to participate in. So what really makes us believe that we have a chance of winning is because we're trying to do something different. We're trying to bring something we call a CSR approach to politicking. So instead of making promises and telling people, we are going to do this for you and we're going to do that for you, we're going to spend the money we should use for campaigning to actually do those things. Meaning, we're going to build those wells and give them that water before we become elected. We're going to give them we're going to try to provide access to that education even while we are not in office. We're going to try to get them jobs even while we are out of that office through our empowerment programs, through other schemes, which again, we talk about a lot more in our manifesto, which is on the website. This is, of course, all for members of my own constituency, the people who are actually going to vote for me. But at the same time, the second objective really is to get other people like me, other people who are also tired of the high incessant inflation, who are also tired of the continuing insecurity, to either stand up and join us or stand up and participate by themselves. Let them know that you don't have to be in the APC or PDP to actually run, because the people who vote, no matter how much money they have, it is human beings who actually place those votes. And so it is only those human beings who can decide who actually becomes elected. So your job should be to stand up and convince these people. They don't need a lot of convincing. They know what the APC has done. They know what the PDP has done. They know that it's the same people going over and over again. They know. They are fully aware of that. So give them a credible alternative and they will choose you.
Okay, I also want to do a follow-up question on this. How do you think Nigerians' mind will change in these few months to the 2023 elections? Particularly those who are already having in mind, they call them structures. They already know those guys that are going to give them money on election day or few days before election and tell them whom to vote for. Now they have seen someone, oh, a young person, let's vote this person. Do you think they can actually change mind? What advice will you give them to ensure that they look for competency and not for what they will get as peanuts?
I think these last 4 years have been among the most difficult years in Nigeria's history. My advice is remember what happened in the last election. These people came and they made you promises and they gave you small amounts of money. Did that money help you with your farm in the next season? Did it help you take care of your family in any way? Did it help you pay for your children's school fees? All of that money cannot do anything for you at all in 4 years. All the best you can hope for is a few months or even a few weeks of paying for some of your bills. It doesn't help you in any way at all. So instead of trying to vote for somebody that will simply offer you some money to go and vote for him, try to vote for somebody that you think will actually have your interest at heart for the next 4 years, not just for the next 4 weeks with the small amount of money he's going to give you. Try to imagine what your children's lives might be like 8 years, 12 years from now if you continue to vote those same people that have been making the same promises to you for much more than 22 years now. The same exact promises and failing with those same promises. Try to avoid falling into the same trap. Try to avoid making the same mistake. If you must, now, this is not something I try to encourage anyone to do, but if you must, if someone offers you money to vote for them, if you feel like it's something you need to take, ideally you should say no. If you feel it's something you need to take, you can take their money and vote your conscience. Now, this is not something I endorse particularly, but in the worst case scenario, this is something I think is feasible.
Well, lastly, I need to ask you, the House of Representatives, so much is there, so much to be done, and what are those things? Your first point agenda in the House of Representatives, if elected as a member, what will you be doing differently from what is happening now?
Well, I would like to focus really on, I'd like to use two approaches to try to get the things done. Of course, the first thing is, as a member of House of Representatives, the main job I have is, one, my ability to propose bills, and two, my ability to decide in some way what the budget of Nigeria is going to be. So in terms of the bills, I want to introduce bills that focus on the economy and security. In terms of security, I want to make sure that we deal out very harsh punishment for people who engage in corruption in related activities. I want to make sure that we pass out laws that are very stringent for people who, laws such as the death penalty, even for people who engage in banditry, who engage in kidnapping, whether or not they take the life of someone in the process, because that's the only way we can have a safe and secure society. This is just a few examples. In terms of the economy, I want to make sure that we try to push for laws that ensure that the civil servants get pay raises that match the rate of inflation. Inflation, I think, over the last 4 years has been more than 400%, and the rate of increase of wages has been negligible. Obviously, if the salaries of the civil service is more, there's going to be a lot more spending in the economy as well, which would be very good for the economy. I want to also make sure that instead of our budget, 900 billion naira of our budget going into humanitarian affairs, where they manage somehow to spend 50 billion on just logistics, which, by the way, is half of the budget of the Nigerian Navy, almost, on just their logistics, which I cannot understand how that works. Instead of things like that happening, we actually get the money channeled into more relevant areas, such as in the building of infrastructure. These are all within the power of a member of House of Reps, together, of course, with his colleagues. Of course, decisions are made in the House of Reps based on rational argument, or in some cases, irrational argument. So these are some of the ideas and some of the bills I would like to try to get through. Of course, through our position in the House of Reps as well, we would like to try to encourage the executive to carry out policies that match the items in our manifesto. Now, of course, I know that there's some people might be more interested than others in listening to what we have to say in this area. So you could go to the website taslimahmediya.com. Over there, we have detailed plans on exactly what kind of bills we want to propose, our views on every single area of life, basically, including our idea of what an ideal society should be. The restructuring plan is far more comprehensive and touches on more detailed things like even the NNPC and the oil and gas sector and our ports and roads, our education and infrastructure and so on and so forth.
Thank you. Nice having you on the stage.
Thank you very much for taking the time.